Good morning, everyone. Just sharing the live real quick. Good morning. Welcome to Bhakti Bites. Welcome to self-care. Welcome to learning mudras and practicing simple little meditations. Doesn't take too much out of your day, but it makes all the difference in the world. I was watching some documentary yesterday about studies that they're doing in regard to mindfulness and how it improves your physiological state of being. I actually went to a university who was studying that. And the reality of how quickly mindfulness practices change your physiology is so impressive. We think sometimes that we have to have these huge practices where we've got hours and hours and hours of mindfulness to really reap the benefits. And what they're finding out is 10, 15 minutes a day. That's it. For just a couple of days. And they can measure the difference. They can measure the improvement in your body, in your state of mind, in your physical form, in your physical well-being. They see relief of chronic symptoms. So, that is why we come to Bhakti Bites. That is why we gather together Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings for about 15, 20 minutes of practice and meditation. For those of you who are new here, hello. My name is Deborah. I am a reverend and a move-in facilitator. And I bring 20 plus years of study and work in the field of human development and wellness, and I share those tools here. So we've got a new mudra for our week, and this one is one close to my heart because I have a fascination with bees, and this mudra is called the bee mudra. This one's Bhramara Mudra, and is good for increasing our overall positive vibe. So imagine like a bee. When you hear a bee, hey Tony, when you hear a bee, right, you guys know this, you hear a bee buzzing at a higher frequency. You can tell when they're agitated because they buzz at this zzz kind of sound, right? But when bees are nice and calm and kind of just doing their thing, doing their bee thing, it's a nice, soothing right? So the Bhramara Mudra actually mudras work by redirecting the energy channels in the body. So this one addresses the element of air in the body by curling in the pointer finger, which is, hey Jason, good morning. So we curl in the pointer finger as tight as you can to your palm for the Bhramara Mudra. And then you bring your thumb over top and connect it right there to your middle finger. The other two fingers can either remain open like so. I like the look of the mudra like this, but it's not necessary. You can also just relax them and let them kind of hang, or you can even put them together on the other side. The important part of this mudra is the tucked pointer finger, tucked nice and tight into the palm, and then holding it down, locking it in with the thumb touching the middle finger. Now, again, we don't want to hurt ourselves. We are going to sit in meditation for a few minutes with this mudra, so please don't put so much pressure that it starts to hurt your finger. Usually we say no more than the weight of a nickel. So tuck that finger nice and tight in there, and then put no more than the weight of a nickel from your thumb to your middle finger. Okay? And we'll hold this mudra on both hands. So this mudra, like I said, increases our general, just overall positivity. It aligns that our resonance to that similar kind of frequency of the bee, that nice, relaxed sound, right? Hey, Timmy, good morning. The reason I'm choosing this mudra this week, however, is because this mudra is also specific to allergies, and that includes food allergies, topical expression of allergies, sinus expression of allergies, itchy skin, itchy throat. As you can tell, during wintertime, usually we come in and we start burning wood in the fire. My sinuses get congested. So this is a mudra that you can use in the moment if you're having a allergic or what's the word I'm looking for? Histamine reaction, right? So it also helps improve the immune system, and it helps to clear allergens in the body. It is recommended if you are trying to clear allergens out of the body, whether it be sinus or food-wise, specifically if it's food-wise. It is recommended that you avoid dairy. Dairy is known to agitate the channels through which this mudra works. So if you are trying to reduce allergies while you're practicing this mudra, try to avoid dairy. That's any type of dairy: yogurt, cheese, butter, ghee, all of that. So it's very good for the sinuses, very good for allergic reactions, very good for just general allergy expressions, whether topical or internal. And brings our systems into alignment with that nice bee hum frequency. Here I am holding this mudra, right? I showed you guys how to do the mudra, so I put it over here, and here I'm like feeling the effects of it starting to sink in. Zine Ramus, good morning. I saw that you joined today. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you got all signed up over at Move with Change. So we're going to do a simple meditation with this mudra, and we're going to build upon it as we go through the week. So we're going to begin just with pranayama and the mudra. So find yourself a comfortable seated position. This is, again, a mudra that you can do anywhere, anytime. So if you're driving your car and you can't close your eyes and can't, join the meditation completely, that's okay. You can still put your hand into the mudra. Again, this is the Bhramara Mudra, and is done by curling your pointer finger, the element that ruled by the element of air. Curl that finger into your palm as nice and tight as you can get it, right into the base of your thumb, and then connect the tip of your thumb to the pad of your middle finger. Remember, we don't want to put too much pressure. We don't want to hurt ourselves sitting in this position here. So both hands, curl that finger in, and then use no more than the weight of a nickel to place your thumb onto your middle finger. And we're going to go ahead and slide right into meditation. So if you've got the ability to do so safely, go ahead and close your eyes, holding that mudra, resting the palms upright in your lap as best you can. If you can't get exactly the mudra, that's okay. It's about your intention and your attention, right? So set your intention to get this mudra, work on it as close as you can get it, and then place it palms up in your lap. Gently close your eyes, and we'll begin our practice with 3 deep breaths. Inhale the breath through the lungs and into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, lifting the heart and elongating the spine. And let it go. Inhale once more, expanding the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And release. And we're going to allow the breath to anchor us fully into our practice. So just follow each inhale and exhale all the way to the end. Inhaling, following it all the way to the top, and exhaling all the way to the bottom. Just take a few moments to follow the breath. Remember, the most important part of meditation is your intention and your attention. Your intention in this moment is to simply follow the breath. And we bring our attention back again and again to this practice. Following the breath, inhaling all the way up to the top, exhaling all the way to the bottom. Sinking deeper and deeper into the present moment with each exhale. If your mind and monkeys are busy, simply thank them for their service and return your attention to your breath. While we hold this mudra, I invite you to add a simple mantra, so hum. As you inhale, say to yourself silently in your mind, so, and as you exhale, hum. Just beginning to tune into that hum of the bee that this mudra represents, that this mudra tunes us to. Inhaling, saying to yourself, so, following the breath all the way to the top, and hum, following the breath all the way to the bottom. So, hum, so, hum, all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top. We'll take several breaths here. So, hum. Just allow the mudra to do its work. If you notice any sensations, any thoughts that pop up in particular to the mudra or not, just allow all sensations to rise and fall the same way your heart rises and falls on your breath. Sometimes when we're in meditation, we can get really exciting thoughts or sensations or feel the mudra or the practice very tangibly, and we want to attach to it. We want to get excited about it. We want to think about it like, ooh, 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 did you feel that? Yes, it's exciting. And we treat every thought, every sensation the same. We allow it to rise and fall in its natural state. As it is naturally meant to rise and fall within you, without attachment, without judgment, whether it's good or bad, right or wrong. Every thought, every sensation, every reaction, manifesting and dissolving. And I bring my attention back to my practice, inhaling so, following the breath to the top, exhaling hum, following the breath to the bottom. Inhaling so, exhaling hum. This mudra works by calming and channeling the air element in the body, creating harmony, just like in a beehive, aligning our energetic frequency with that same hum, the same hum you hear in your mind as you exhale. I invite you to notice for a moment that feeling of stillness within. As if the wind, maybe even the wind you didn't even realize was there, suddenly died down. Your inner state still, open, in perfect harmony. Inhaling so, exhaling hum. You may stay with this practice as long as you'd like. Before you come out, do just a quick scan of the body, starting at the toes, moving all the way up the toes, across the feet, over the ankles, up the shins and calves, over the cap of the knee and the back of the knee, up the thighs, hips, all the way up the back, around the belly, rib cage, scanning the body, noticing the effects of this mudra without trying to change anything, without trying to judge anything, just scanning the body, up the belly, across the chest, up and down both sides of the body, into the armpits, over the shoulders, down the upper arm, across the elbow, over the forearm, past the wrist, noticing the effects of this mudra directly in your hands. Holding your attention on this mudra directly in your hands. Scanning back up the arms, all the way up the arms, over the shoulders, up the neck, up the back of the head, over the top of the head, over your forehead, down the bridge of your nose, across your eyes, to your temples on each side of your head, around the back of your ears to your earlobes on each ear, over your cheeks, across your upper lip, over your lower lip, all the way across your chin, holding your attention on your chin. With your attention on your chin, take a big deep breath in and hold at the top. And as you exhale, keeping the lips sealed, exhale with the low hum. All the way to the end. And gently release the mudra. Bringing your hands either to prayer or simply laying one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice. In gratitude for these mudras, for these tools, for the ability to redirect our energy channels to affect our physiology, our physical, our spiritual, our energetic, our emotional, our cognitive well-being So many layers of self that we can treat with these tools. In gratitude for divine life force that flows through us, the same energy that flows through everything in the universe. And offer yourself a little gratitude as well for taking the time for self-care today. You are absolutely worth it, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for joining me. As you release the meditation, please come out slowly, offer yourself some stretches, only opening your eyes when you're really ready. Thank you, Nikki. I really liked that one. I felt like before I even right as I was talking about it, I got that into the mudra and I started feeling it kind of pulling my energy on that one side. So guys, again, this was called the Bhramara Mudra and is done by curling the pointer finger, the finger ruled by the element of air, into tucking it right into the base of the thumb. And then, good morning, Tripstar. And then connecting it gently with no more than the weight of a nickel to the middle finger. Okay, so you got it nice and tucked in there. Make sure you're not holding it so tight that you hurt yourself. You want to sit in this with this mudra for at least 5 minutes. And it works to improve overall immunity. Specifically, it works to reduce allergic reaction, histamine reactions, whether it be topical, whether they be respiratory, or otherwise, right? So it can be good for a cough, a sneeze, congestion, runny nose, general overall immunity, and works to cultivate harmony in the energy system. Think of the way that a hive of bees sounds when they're nice and calm and just doing their bee thing, right? That is what this mudra invites within the body. And as we were just, Nikki, you too, when you put your hand into this mudra, for me, I can almost immediately start to feel that hum. And as I sat with that much longer, this is one of my favorite mudras, as I sit with it much longer in meditation, I can feel a tangible buzz happening in my hands. So again, this is the air finger. Bee Queen, good morning, bee thing. You can only do the mudra with your left hand. So yes, again, as we talk about with these mudras, do your best to get to the mudra. It works by redirecting the energy channels in the body. If you can't get it perfect, that's okay. It's not about perfection. It's about practice, right? And persistence, right? And patience with ourselves. So fantastic, right? Aligns us with that same buzz of the hive when the bees are in harmony. And you note that when a bee is distressed or upset, that buzz changes. That is literally what's happening with our energy systems. When we experience things like anger, sadness, frustration, desire even, we create a buzz. We adjust, we affect our energy bodies. Love and peace to you, Joshua. Glad to see you as well. Good morning. I can feel it almost immediately. So again, this mudra, we want to hold it for a minimum of 5 minutes. And I really like to combine it with so hum. So again, just breathing, especially because it's really good for the sinuses, just breathing with this mudra, inhaling, saying to yourself so, exhaling, saying to yourself hum. If you'd like to, you can also make an audible hum. So you'd inhale, so silently to yourself, exhale, And the effect of humming like that with each exhale, I guarantee you, is going to bring your resonance to that nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm over here buzzing on my own. Sorry about that. Hi, Mimi. How are you? So, again, last time, Bhramara Mudra. Not last time. I'll probably talk about it a couple more times. Bhramara Mudra, right? Bhramara means bee, specifically male bee. There's also Bhramari and Bhramara. Bhramari is a pranayama technique, and we'll work on that later this week. I think we'll probably add it on Tuesday. I'll teach you guys the humming bee pranayama because it's so in line with this mudra. It's the same energy. It's a different practice, different kind of, yeah. But that's also really good for the sinuses. So, love it when we're buzzing together, right? I mean, we do. We create that, lovely little hive, right? When we're all doing this at the same time, all matching our frequency to the same resonance, which is that resonance of the bee, right? That nice. So this mudra can be used anywhere, anytime. If you're having allergic reaction, I don't have any severe allergic reactions, so, standard protocol, okay? Don't replace your EpiPen with the Bhramara Mudra, but use the Bhramara Mudra and to help improve your immune system, to help soothe histamine reactions. Again, whether they're topical, whether you're having, skin rashes, eczema, cough, scratchy throat, sinus congestion, itchy eyes, right? Any of these kinds of allergy reactions. So again, the mudra works, standard protocol, yeah. Is it going to help you lose weight? This one in particular is not for weight loss, no. But we do have ones for that, and coming in the new year, maybe we'll add some of those. We will practice some of those mudras, okay? That's a really good New Year theme, right? So this mudra, Joy, good morning. That's okay. We're still talking about the mudra because we love this mudra so much. So it's the Bhramara Mudra. And the Bhramara Mudra is done by curling in your pointer finger into the base of your thumb and tucking it in there, and then gently, no more than the weight of a nickel, touching your thumb, the tip of your thumb, to the middle pad of your middle finger, the pad of your middle finger. If you can only get to the tips of your middle finger, get as close to this mudra as you can. Again, it redirects the element of air in the body. That's where your pointer finger controls or works with, right? So this redirects the air, right? Air creates chaos. Air, open your windows and let the storm blow through kind of deal, right? But with Bhramara, what we're doing is calming that air. When we sit with this mudra, we experience a state of inner stillness, right? It was an interesting, we just did the meditation. Thank you, Nikki. We just did the meditation with this, simply breathing, inhaling, following the breath all the way to the top, and with a mantra saying so all the way in, with the inhale, and hum with the exhale, right? Inhale, hum. Cyclone, good morning. So Bhramara, and that works by redirecting the wind, energy, air in the body, calming the mind, quieting the mind, and balancing our energy body, harmonizing our energy body with that same frequency as the bee, right? And we assist our energy body in adjusting, good morning, Jason, by adding that inner hum. This week we will build on the meditation and we will add more of the hum, and we will do some pranayama associated with this. But note that this is really good for improving the immune system, that it's really good for acute treatment of an allergic reaction, whether it be topical reaction, whether it be sinus reaction, eyes, cough, that kind of stuff. But any of these, like I said earlier, standard protocol, if you have severe reactions, please. But if you notice yourself a little itchy, you notice yourself a little congested, hold this mudra. It's recommended a minimum of 5 minutes. And if you want to use, again, if you can hear it, I'm a little stuffy this morning. This has already helped, but you want to do it 3 to 5 times a day. If you've got an acute situation, use this repeatedly. In fact, I'm going to tuck my hand like this for much of the day, and I'm going to see kind of what the effects of this, because I have never actually used it directly with a stuffy nose. Usually I just use it for the harmonizing effect, the energetic harmonizing effect. So we'll see how this works, how well this works on my sinuses today. I can already feel it clearing it up. That's the thing. Balancing that air, harmonizing, opening those channels. Again, it is recommended, please, if you are using this to reduce allergies, please avoid consuming dairy. Dairy is known to disrupt the channel that this mudra is using. Okay? Just word to the wise. Dairy, Ayurvedically, brings cold to the body, right? And air is often a cold element. So imagine that chaos of air, the excess of air, not only creating mental disruption, but creating disruption in the energy channels of the body. Corey, good morning. How are you? Yes, the ancient tech within DNA. Yes, we have these powerful freaking, okay. I've been practicing energy work since I was a kid. I was really blessed with a mother who already practiced it and already understood the energy body, right? So she taught me about these things when I was very young. And even still, I was taught to go to the doctor and deal with shit, right? And go tell the doctor and go seek outside healing or support to address any issues that I was having within. But I always felt it was really weird. Why am I going to somebody who barely knows me or I just met and sitting there talking to them for 10, 15 minutes? How are they going to really be able to understand what's happening within? I can do my best to express it to them. But how many times I have gone to those situations and said, I feel like this is happening, and then been shut down and said, no, I'm the expert here on your body. I don't live in there. I've never even been in that body, but I totally know what's going on, and your assessment is obviously wrong. I'm like, what? How is that? Okay, whatever. So anyway, for me, it was a blessing, actually, because what it did is steer me away from Western medicine and taught me so many, thank you, Nikki, for the kitty paws, brought me to so many other practices. And over the years, not only learning the tools, but using the tools to heal my body, my physical body, my emotional body, my cognitive body, the amount of healing that has come, my spiritual body, the amount of healing that has come through the use of these practices, of adjusting the energy body, adjusting my energy, working with the chakras, working with mudras, working with mantras, working with meditation, mindfulness. I sound like a broken record, guys, but if you had met me 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with multiple things, including chronic illness, right? Chronic illness, mental illness. My life was a mess. I felt completely unstable, right? There was a lot of things going on, a lot of healing that was needed. And I sought many avenues. But if it wasn't for these mindful practices, if it wasn't for the simple practice of increasing my awareness so that I could respond instead of react to triggers in my environment, and then having the tools to respond appropriately, has completely changed my life. I don't sell shit I don't believe in, right? And this is why I give it away for free. Some of this stuff for free. Because it's that powerful. It's that important. And it has made that much of an impact on me in my life. So, that said, oh, hold on, let me check up here. Mindfulness, listen. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate you too. Yes, Kelly, do I help people who have literally no prior knowledge or experience with this? Yes, absolutely. So these classes, I'm really enjoying this mudra so much that I'm just holding it over here. So these classes are called Bhakti Bites. Welcome in, Kelly. These classes are called Bhakti Bites. Bhakti means devotion. So devotion to what? Devotion to self-care. We often, self-care is like that first thing that falls away during our day. When we get busy, right? We go, ah, shit, my self-care goes. No, our self-care needs to be foundational. Our self-care needs to be consistent, because that is our foundation from which we grow and which we learn and which we move throughout the day, right? Without that good, solid foundation, we are much more likely to fall into the pitfalls, into our own rabbit holes, because we haven't built that foundation. So, yes, Kelly, these Bhakti Bite sessions are meant for very beginner. You don't have to have any prior experience. You can show up to these classes and I'll offer a simple tool and a simple meditation. We don't get too complicated in these. Lately we've been working with mudras, and then we build on the meditation and the practice with the mudra throughout the week. We meet Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time for these Bhakti Bites classes. So you are more than welcome to join. Just a quick announcement, guys. I know you guys have heard, of course, I know you guys have heard me talking a little bit about it. I am still going to make an official announcement, I promise. But because of some business changes and whatnot, I have moved myself over to movewithchange.com. That's my personal business, my coaching practice, and we are building a little community over there. It is a safe space to show up just as you are and approach these practices with curiosity and willingness so that you can grow your toolbox as well. So you can go join directly at movewithchange.com. We have an app. It's called Fit by Wix. If you subscribe here on TikTok, not only do you help support these free classes, but you also get a month free over at Move with Change. So what is the value at Move with Change? Come the new year, a lot of these classes are going to be moving over to Move with Change. I am going to be offering something different here, something else here, don't worry. But there will be probably 4 or 5 classes a week over in Move with Change, plus group coaching over in Move with Change, which I do private coaching. So this group coaching one is a really good value. It's a weekly group coaching session that if you are a member in the Sangha over there, we call it the KS Sangha. KS stands for Come As You Are, because we believe in the value of your authenticity. And honestly, authenticity is the purest expression of source, right? The authenticity is the purest expression of our energy. And that is really where we want to be expressing ourselves from a place of authenticity, from a place of love for self and other, for light and dark, for acknowledgement, right? For the good and the bad, to be authentic in the moment, to learn and grow, and to just honor ourselves where we're really at. When we deny where we're really at, we don't give ourselves the chance to work on the things that we need to work on. When we're denying the things that we don't want to see, we're not addressing them, right? And if you're going to sink into mindfulness practices, they are going to come up. Mindfulness practices are going to ask you to address these things, especially the things you don't want to address. So, it takes some bravery, but I know you've got it. I know you've got it. If you want to work directly with me, you can sign up for that over at movewithchange.com as well. If you have a question about any of these things, feel free to just send me a message too. We can learn from everyone. Yes, exactly. And that's really why, do I teach Reiki? Yes, I do. And I was actually going to do the Reiki hand position series next year as well. Mimi, that's the class that I'm gonna be putting here on TikTok on live coming next year. I want to give you guys, I did it in a closed class this year. I did not do that one publicly. So that'll be the first time that one's going public. And that will be coming next year. So the plan for January is to first move into a Kundalini Kriya. If you guys are not familiar with Kriyas, they are super, super effective and powerful. Then maybe stick around. I will be doing the Reiki here on TikTok, teaching you guys self-care Reiki. I am a Reiki, certified Reiki practitioner, but again, I've been working with energy since I was a kid with my mother. So the style I do is not just the one Usui lineage sort of deal, it's my family's lineage. I do teach Reiki, how to practice Reiki on other people, but that is not a class I offer publicly because there is a certain level of responsibility that's required, that is necessary, that I personally require of the students that I teach. So if you're interested in that, I was planning on doing a workshop next year, probably sometime in the summer, for a Reiki certification through my family lineage of Reiki, of energy work. Thank you, Gigi. Yes. Oh, Gigi, I love you. So that's another benefit too for subscribers, guys. If you're a subscriber, Friday nights from 5 to 7 p.m., I do astrology sessions. That's a subscriber only live. That is the only thing actually that is that will not be available. We'll talk astrology here and there in coaching, but I won't actually like have a class on astrology over in Move with Change. That will be something only for you subscribers that we will do on TikTok. Thanks, Trip Star. Thank you. Gotta have faith. Okay, so that's the technical stuff, right? That's the businessy stuff, right? Okay, I think we're done now. We can put the business character away. Bye. Bhramara. I guess I've always found it really, really interesting that culturally we are taught to turn away from the most powerful healing mechanism we have. The most powerful healing mechanism we have is our own energy body, right? And we are not taught the chakras. We are not taught mudras. We are not taught how to breathe through our energy, right? We are not even taught that our emotions affect our bodies and our bodies affect our emotions. So you can literally change your feeling, change your emotions by changing your physical position. How simple is that? We live in a culture where we allow emotions to puppet us, to lead us, to drive us, to make decisions for us, to make choices for us, to fucking destroy shit for us, to run our ship into the rocks, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just my feelings. It's just my emotions. Like, you weren't, like, you don't want to take the reins on those horses? You can. And by doing so, learn to affect your world and manifest in your world and to be in your world with a completely different sense of self and locus of control. Locus of control. Dark forest of error. Yeah, I was there too. That's why I had multiple diagnoses. I was constantly struggling with mental health, emotional health, physical health. Our brains and our brains are doing our best to keep us safe, right? But when we lean so heavily as we do culturally into, am I safe, am I safe, am I safe, am I safe? No, I'm not safe because my emotions, right? Like, I'm not safe from myself because I don't have I don't have management of self. My locus of control is outside of me. What I see on TV can affect my physical being. What somebody else does, I allow to throw me off balance, to disrupt my inner state of being, my state of being. Was that about herbalism? Yes, I am an herbalist as well. So when you join Move with Change, you get access through that group coaching, and you also get discounts to private coaching and other things like that. Through that group coaching, you get access to all of my tools. Let me see if I can... I'm an herbalist. I'm an energy worker. I'm a child care specialist. I am a death midwife. I am a birth doula. I am a reverend. Morse fingers. I lead meditation, lead dream journeying, which is a type of, it's a practice of astral projection, waking astral projection, where we go into our subconscious state and we interact with either different parts of ourselves or different parts of our timeline. It's a really powerful practice. It's something I do only one-on-one with people. If you're interested in something like that, you have access to that over in Move with Change. Again, subscribe here and you get the link to download the app and you get a month free over there. I also teach ecstatic dance, and I'm actually going to be hopefully starting a local ecstatic dance here in town. I'm actually really excited about that. That's a little side like, hey guys, guess what? I haven't heard back from the space yet about it. Am I a vampire? No, friend. No, and I actually help people heal from being vampires. Energy vampires, specifically. But it's a big part of what I do, actually. Talk about our emotions taking over us and our emotions controlling us and us weaponizing our emotions as a means to manipulate and attempt to control others. Or worse, trying to fill our cup with finite energy by taking it from other people. This is what energy vampires do. If you are not connected through a clear channel, your prana is not flowing through you clearly. A lot of times or you just don't know how to connect to your life force energy. A lot of times we choose to get that energy from finite sources. If you're not connected to the infinite source, then you look for it in finite. And when you find it in, love you too, Tripstar. And when you take it from a finite source, it creates a kind of clamoring, a need, because just like when we go and eat junk food in place of real nutritious food, we become hungrier, quicker, sooner, we don't feel very good, and so we go and we take more from a finite source, more from a finite source, never really being satisfied with what we're consuming, because that's not what we're meant to consume. We're not meant to steal other people's life force. We're not meant to take their energy from them. We are meant to cultivate our own energy through an infinite source. And that's what we do with our energy work and with our mindfulness practices, is we are finding that source of prana, we are connecting to that source of life, and allowing it to flow through us. And we do that through the means of using mudras, through mantras, through meditation, through movement. It's why I call myself a movement facilitator, is because I use various types, whether it's in breath, body, or being. We find movement so that we can grow. So we are not static or stagnant, so that we can create space for what serves us and let go of what doesn't. Good morning, Billy. Ecstatic. Oh, bee queen. Ecstatic dance, not exotic. Ecstatic. Ecstatic meaning it's a style of free form movement, usually associated with music that kind of brings you from a real kind of slow, low, relaxed music all the way up to a peak, and then we come back down. But the intention there is to move as you feel called to move. Create a safe space. This is why I do this one in person. I don't do this one on the screens. I've been trying to figure out how to make like a class that we can do remotely, but a huge part of ecstatic dance is cultivating safe space. So that's not as easy to do in a Zoom room. But yeah, it's about free form movement. It's about expression, physical expression. You can call it walking meditation. We usually hold them on Sunday mornings. So for me, we call it dance church. There's usually an intention with it and whatnot. It's a beautiful collective experience, and to be able to ride those waves with each other when we're all in that state of flow with our bodies and our beings and our authentic expression, it is ecstatic. That's why it's called ecstatic dance. Yes, like somatic. It's a somatic healing. I mean, allowing yourself to move as your body really naturally just kind of wants to move, and allowing yourself to express whatever comes up, right? Even those weird, funky moves. Sorry, I just caught myself like doing some really funky moves come out on the ecstatic dance floor. But that's the beauty in it. And I have never been to a session of ecstatic dance where I didn't leave just grinning from ear to ear. In my face, in my heart, in my spirit. It's a powerful, powerful practice. And again, if I could figure out a way to do it remotely, I would. Is there a way to stop people from draining energy, from draining your energy? Yes, there are protections and boundaries that you can put up. East Beast. You're taking your finite. You do not have permission, my friend. No one can take my energy without my consent. And so this is what I'm talking about, Mimi. Setting up protections so that no one can access your energy without your consent. One of my favorites includes a meditation. It's done by basically breathing a bubble. It begins from your heart space. You begin by imagining that spark of light, spark of light, source energy within you, right? You close your eyes, and as you breathe into your heart space, as you imagine that little flame there, you pull your breath down into your heart by inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale, imagine that a bubble begins to... I always think of Glenda, the Good Witch, her bubble that she floats in on. It's exactly what that looks like. Sometimes mine has a green tint because the energy of the heart chakra is green. But we are pulling from source here, right? We're pulling from our connection to the divine. If you don't have a solid practice for connecting, for what I call tethering to the divine, you might want to work on that first so you make sure that source of your energy is source energy. And then you blow with each exhale, that bubble a little bit bigger around you. I usually build mine to about, 6 feet around us. Is about the size of your energy field, give or take, depending on your state of being, depending on your sense of balance, depending on if your energy field's disrupted. It can be a lot smaller or contracted. Anyhow, put it about 6 feet outside of you. Continue to breathe into that bubble. The important part for me is to imagine that shimmery external rainbowy stuff that a bubble does, right? When a bubble does this, I've been using this practice again since I was very, very young. I have used it in acute situations where I was being energetically attacked, as well as situations where people were attempting to pull energy from me. It's very effective. It's really simple. You can put the bubble around your heart. You can put it around a specific part of you. You can put it around your body. You can put it around your body and your car. You can put it around your house. I put it around my acre piece of property here every single night. Anyhow, this in and of itself, you're very welcome, Mimi. Practice this, sit with this, just like mindfulness practices in general. The more that you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you, right? There is power in your intention. What you water grows. Give your attention to the intentions that you would like to cultivate. And an intention that I cultivate every single day is that protective layer. I've been talking to some people lately who have been talking about energy work and about being drained by energy work, or being drained simply by being in the same space with other people, even remotely sharing with other people. Sometimes this space, right, can get draining for people. And it's seemingly really important right now. I feel like I'm talking about it to a lot of people. So maybe I need to make a video or something like that about this. I'm noticing a lot of people experiencing this right now. Energy being pulled away, or people creating attachments. So here's the other thing, is there are people that create attachments. In my practice of doing energy work, I see them as little hooks and strings. When I do energy work on somebody, I can typically kind of see at least a couple of these. I think we've all got them. I don't think I've ever met a person who didn't have some of those attachments. And they're both attachments that are hooked in us and attachments that are from us out into other people. These can be really healing, really beautiful, supportive connections, and they can be really draining connections. So be mindful of the energies that you are connecting yourself to by thought and by energy. When we think about somebody, we're sending and making that connection with them. Even if we're thinking negatively about them, right? You're thinking positively about them. Okay, that's a great connection to be cultivating. I'm over here bitching in my head. Thanks again, Nikki. Bitching in my head about this person. I am still creating and cultivating a connection to them. This is not serving me. If I don't want that connection energetically with that person, why am I letting them take up space here? take up space here? Why am I letting them affect me here? Why am I letting them furrow my brow, right? Why am I bringing their energy into my life? Why am I watering that cactus if I don't want to keep getting stung, right? Like, or whatever it is. So when you're creating that bubble, another thing that you can do is that you can imagine that that bubble clears away connections that you do not want. That by expanding it, you break those connections. So much of energy work, again, intention. Mindfulness, the most important pieces of mindfulness are your intention and your attention. Because again, what you water grows, right? Where are you putting your attention? The reason we do mindfulness practices, the reason I have them in my pocket every single day is because when my attention goes to something that I do not have the intention of cultivating, I can pull my attention back to center and say, whoa, hold on a minute. We're not going to spend energy over there. We're not going to build that connection. We're not going to foster that. I'm not going to water that fucking thing. I do not want that thing in my house. I do not want that thing in my temple. It is time to clear it away. And I don't do it by creating a battle, because that is giving more energy there too. I let it go by simply turning my attention elsewhere. Turn my attention elsewhere. Kelly, yes. You're describing why I can't watch the news anymore. It affects me adversely. It is intended to affect you. It is specifically designed to affect you. You can go take college classes nowadays called how to, media manipulation, marketing manipulation, how to manipulate your audience. It is intentional. It is simple marketing. It doesn't need to be nefarious. Sometimes it's nefarious. It doesn't need to be nefarious. The truth is we all manipulate our reality to get to affect our world, to manifest what we want. All humans are doing it. Animals are doing it. We're all doing it. It is how we work because we are manifesting. We are constantly interacting with our world. So it's good. It's important to choose what you invite into your world, because those things can and will affect your energy body, affect your physical body, affect your emotional body and your spiritual body and your connection to spirit itself. Attention and intention. This is how mindfulness changed my life. Intention and attention. That simple. And discernment. Is it for me or not for me? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Doesn't matter what my judgment about it is, because that is more energy in that direction. That is still connection. Discernment. Is this for me or is it not for me? You guys hear me often joke about the birthday party, right? I am not going to go to your birthday party, open your present, put on your pink sweater that's 3 sizes too small for me, and go, oh my God, this sucks. This is gross. Nobody likes this. This is terrible. Who would even want a sweater like this? It's not fucking for me, right? It's your sweater. It's for you. So I don't go around in my life judging what's for other people. It's a waste of my energy. And I don't go around taking what's for other people either. If an energy or a thing or a person or a job or a situation does not resonate well with me, all I have to do is say, no, thank you. Not for me. Then I do not create attachment. I do not create suffering. I do not create a battle. I do not create a judgment. There is no attachment. It's just not for me. You guys know my favorite story about it, right? Is that the monk sitting in the town square, eyes half open, in meditation, doing his people watching, and someone decides they don't like what he's doing. So the guy goes up to him and decides to tell him, right? So he's telling the monk about why he shouldn't be doing what he's doing, where he's doing it, and how he's doing it, and all the other things. And he keeps telling him, and he keeps telling him. And the monk is not responding. The monk is just enjoying his meditation and people watching. And now it's just become way more exciting, people watching. Anyhow, the guy gets more and more and more frustrated, finally raising his voice and yelling at the monk, don't you hear me? Don't you understand what I'm saying? And the monk finally responds and says, I hear you. I simply choose not to accept the gifts you are offering me. Because even in your anger, right? Even in that anger, even in that frustration, I recognize there's a gift. There is a potential gift in everything. There is a gift in everything. But the question is that a gift for me that I want? If it's not, I leave it there. I don't go to the store and buy shit that I don't want. I don't go to somebody's birthday party or go sneak under somebody else's Christmas tree and take their gift and then complain about the gift that wasn't for me in the first place. Not everything is for you, and not everything is for you right now. And learning to discern that relieves us of a great deal of suffering and a great deal of attachment, which breeds stuff for suffering anyway. Thank you for the likes, guys. I'm going to catch up on comments here. Okay. Gigi, of course, we have to be willing to be tuned in ourselves for real to discern what is for us indeed. And that, again, mindfulness, right? When we turn to mindfulness practices, we cultivate the patience, the inner awareness, the time. If you've ever caught yourself saying you don't have enough time, that time is available within you if you cultivate it. You can change your experience of time itself when you cultivate mindfulness practices, because it literally changes your experience of time. Because when I am in the present moment and aware of what is going on in my present moment, when stimuli of any kind comes into my environment, I have the time and the space and the awareness to see it and go, oh, is this for me or not? No? Okay. I have the time and awareness. I'm present enough to hear that thought pop up and to have the awareness enough to go, that's interesting that thought popped up. I'm going to let it go. You've slowed down and started living in the present. Yeah. It changes, right? Nikki, does it change your quality of time? It has changed my experience of time and my ability to respond. Your response ability is your ability to respond. Your ability to respond is your responsibility. You have the ability. How you respond is your responsibility. So cultivate response ability. I love words. I love words. Your ability to respond in the moment. Riddle me this, Batman. Your ability to respond in the moment. That is what we're doing. When you have the ability to respond in the moment, then instead of just consuming whatever comes your way, you have the ability to respond and choose whether you want to put that in your body, whether you want that in your energy field, whether you want that thought in your mind. There's a meditation practice where we take a bowl of black rocks and a bowl of white rocks, and we put them on either side of us, and then for each positive thought, we put a white rock in the center. For each negative thought, we bring a black rock in the center. It is a practice for noticing how positive or negative our brains have a tendency of being. If you have enough black and white rocks to practice this, feel free. Or do it with any other things, right? Just have two different kinds of things. And take that, because what you're doing is cultivating the practice of just listening to your thoughts, witnessing, being the observer, witnessing what is going on. And then when you cultivate the space to see what's going on in the first place, to hear what's going on in the first place, then you begin to cultivate that locus of control to say, wait a minute, now that I can see what's going on, I have the ability to choose which things to take in, which things to cultivate more of, right? Where to give my attention. Is this that I'm giving my attention to creating tension in my body and in my life? Is it worth the tension that it's creating? No? Then why am I cultivating it? Why am I giving it my attention? It doesn't have to be a battle. It doesn't have to be about shame and blame and anger with myself and creating a fight with myself and bitching at myself about it. God damn it again, you... Right? We don't need to create a battle within ourselves. We don't need to fight within ourselves. We don't need to create more suffering and more attachment. We can simply discern and say, it's not for me. It's not for me. No thanks. No thanks. The universe is only bringing to you what you've said yes to before. And so if you don't want that thing anymore that you've said yes to for so long, start saying no and start saying yes to other things. Find something that's a little bit closer, right? We talked about this too, and this was a big one for me because in terms of manifestation, let's talk about abundance, right? I want to cultivate abundance in my life. So I want to resonate with the kind of abundance that I want to experience. But there was something missing. There's something missing, right? I have never experienced the kind of abundance that I really want in my life. So how am I supposed to resonate with something I've never seen, heard, felt, understood? How do I get there if I don't even know what that feels like? How do I find a thing if I don't even know what it looks like? By discerning what it's not. So if I'm trying to cultivate abundance and I get half-assed or not abundant things, I'm going to say no to those things. And anytime anything that brings me closer to the abundance that I would like, I say yes to that. Yes. Ooh, yeah, that's for me. Ooh, yeah, that's for me. And watch it build. Watch it grow. Watch your garden, right? This inner garden that you're cultivating. Watch what grows. Where you will put your attention is what grows. What you water grows. Intention and attention. It is that fucking simple. It takes practice. It takes persistence. It takes patience. It does not happen overnight. Yes, sometimes we have, through the practices, have insights that propel us forward, wisdoms that propel us forward, realizations that allow us to leap beyond where we're at. And those are magical. But those are not the meat and bread and butter of mindfulness practices. The bread and butter of mindfulness practices is just the simple, moment-to-moment things. That if I find myself cultivating energy that I don't want, I stop. I make the choice, right? Something that I used to say a lot, you guys probably haven't heard me say a lot, is that I really believe that we all as humans share a superpower. You may have more superpowers. I know I've got a couple more superpowers, but we all share a superpower, and that's choice. The ability to choose. You can use your superpower or let it choose for you, I guess. But know that either way is still a choice, right? Inaction is still a choice. What is the saying now? That toxic thing, no response is still a response, right? It's still a choice. And we cannot blame others for our choices. And ultimately, when you think of it, right? Ultimately, every choice finally comes down to me. You guys do hear me say you are your own guru, because ultimately it is you who makes the final decision to do or to change anything. You can have the most powerful, wise guru that you follow and sit at their feet every single day and pray and do all the things with them. But if you don't choose to cultivate the practices that they are teaching you, if you do not choose to accept the wisdoms that you are receiving from that person, then, or from that source, I should say, because it doesn't have to be a person, it can be a place or a thing or a book or a show or whatever, then you will not receive those practices. And that is not a fault of the source. It is choice of yours. Kevin, I'm not sure what you're asking. Maybe if you could rephrase it, I'd be happy to answer. Moment to moment, we have so much choice and so much power. And yet we sit here and we blame everybody and everything else for our predicament, for our situation, for our feelings. People, I can't control other people. You can't control other people. You can't control plenty of things in this life. But you can choose how to respond. When you try and you are afraid because they watch and threat. I mean, there are very real situations of danger, right, in our lives, and we need to make choices to remove ourselves as best we can from that danger. Or face that danger if that's what we choose to do, but those are choices too. You can even say that in the absolute worst of conditions, we still have choices. You can be locked up and solitary for the rest of your life with barely any food and water, right? And you still have a choice in there in how to, it's harder, obviously, right? Some choices are very difficult or shitty choices. Doesn't mean they're still not choices. Doesn't mean we still don't have a choice. Our choices can be limited, but we still have choices. And ultimately, mindfulness is about making those choices more and more and more, taking responsibility for those choices. Sometimes we just have to learn that we even have choices, though. Yes, exactly. It's really important. That's part of mindful practices, right? Is to realize that, is to cultivate the awareness of those choices. And then as we cultivate that awareness and start making those choices more consciously, we start learning what is for us and what is not. And we go, wait a minute, I've been choosing this situation with other people or with work or with money or whatever that doesn't serve me. Holy moly. You start to get that awareness, cultivate that awareness so that you can see that thing happening and you go, oh my gosh, this bridge that I built to get from point A to point B is like on fire and full of all sorts of this is not working for me. Let me make different choices. Let me figure out if there's another way for me to get from point A to point B. And then we get to start exploring. And then we get to start, trying new things and approaching life with curiosity and willingness for new experiences and for new understandings and for the opportunity to continue making choices. How do you practice? In general, or how do I practice self-love and self-care? Preston, I wanted to understand your question there. Kevin, you're not fulfilling responsibilities. Hello, Steve. Princess, when you correct negative thoughts, you feel like you're lying to yourself. Any tips? Sometimes it does. And the thing is like, we don't want to create a battle in ourselves, right? We don't want to use like shame or blame or anything like that. So when you're correcting, right, we want to be mindful of how we are correcting and redirecting, right? And I might even say, choose redirection over correction, right? So if a negative self-talk is, you have a negative thought that, oh, I look like shit today, instead of directly correcting it and saying, oh, I look amazing today. If you don't feel that way, then that isn't really the truth, right? So instead, redirect your energy into something that will make you feel the way that you want to feel. You want to cultivate that feeling in your life, turn your attention to things that cultivate that energy. Simply changing the thought in and of itself is not going to adjust the habit. unless you take action in that direction. Yeah? Does that make sense, Princess? Steve, you choose not to choose. It's still a choice, my friend. It is. And it means that you allow yourself to be puppeted by your environment, by other people, by the TV, by the screens, by, the weather. You allow yourself to be thrown about in the storm. With no grounding, no feet, no legs to stand on. Like, not actively making choices in your life. Again, it's still a choice. And a lot of times when we give up our locus of control and pretend like we're not the ones choosing things, then we make ourselves victims of other people and other situations. And we point our fingers at other people and other situations and we say, well, they're at fault. Well, guess what? I can't change them. So the only power I really have is to change me and change my behaviors and change my choices. Only then can I change my situation. I can't change other people, and I can spend my life fighting with other people trying to change them. And the reality is I would only create more suffering and more chaos in my life because it's not possible. We can share and we can help and we can support, but we can't actually change situations, especially if they're not good situations for us. And we're sitting there staying in those situations, trying to change those situations when those situations aren't actually working for us. Choice. You can choose to go into battle. There are gifts in there too. There are lessons in there too. I commend you if you choose battle in this lifetime. I personally don't like to choose battle. I don't like to choose arguments, whether it's with myself or with somebody else or with life or whatever. So I am cultivating a life and relationships with myself and with others and with life that are not about struggle, that are not about suffering, that are not about battle, that are not about judgment, that are not about, but that are about harmony. Cultivating harmony. That was our mudra today. Cultivating harmony with myself, with my life, with others. Hi, Recovery Warrior. Hey, Sid, how are you? Example, let's see. I pick up a fork instead of a spoon to eat soup. Think, I'm so dummy for picking it up, right? What's the correction? Is to simply just pick up the spoon. Instead of shaming yourself, instead of fighting with yourself, instead of doing any, just simply notice. This is my favorite thing. When we practice mindfulness, when we practice meditation, a lot of times, I'm good. When we practice meditation, okay, we are cultivating a sense of, the intention is to cultivate a sense of quiet inside of our minds, right? To quiet our minds, to find peace within, to find those moments of where the pendulum swings right to stillness for just a little longer. And the more we practice this, the more stillness we cultivate. But in that stillness, thoughts come up. Right? So you're sitting in meditation and a thought comes up and pulls you away to the things that you got to do today on your to-do list. Your response to that, the correction, could be, damn it, fucking distracted again. I'm fucking up my meditation, right? What kind of energy is that going to cultivate? I can't do this. This sucks. I suck at meditation. I should just quit. What's the energy that's going to cultivate? Or we respond by saying, oops, and bringing our attention back to the practice. And when our mind runs off again, we go, oops, and we bring our attention back. And when our mind runs off again, we just go, oops, and we bring our attention back. With love, with patience, with acceptance and understanding that we are human, and we are growing, and we are learning in every moment. And that when we cultivate that kind of self-acceptance for our authenticity, when we make friends with the parts of ourselves that we are even trying to change, when we make friends with those parts first, the change comes much more easily. When we fight those parts of ourselves. My mother's wisdom, she used to always say to me, if you create a battle within yourself, if you create an enemy of yourself, you create a battle within yourself. That is a war that you will wage your entire life. Is that how you want to live? You want to create a battle within yourself? You want to create an enemy of yourself? You want to live within that war, with that war inside of you your entire life? Not really, no. I sit how is comfortable for me, Bob. Have you done any paintings lately? Shell, yeah, I got a doppelganger. I have one of those faces I get people who say that. So that's what it's about, princess, right? It's not about creating a battle. It's not about correction. It's not about being the overlord or the strict parent for yourself. It is about meeting yourself where you're at with love and kindness and acceptance. And for most of us, that's really hard. So it's okay if it takes time. This is not something most of us were taught to cultivate. This is not how most of us were taught to talk to ourselves or about ourselves or to treat ourselves. Most of us were taught that we are broken and bad and dumb and mistakes and, all these other things that we have to, these negative things that we've got in our brains. Hi, puppers. Hello. I've got sunshine coming out and the dog getting up. I think that's what he's going for. He's like, wait, you're standing in the sun. You're taking all the sun. Hi, dog. Do you need a hug? Hi, puppy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He totally came for the sun. He's a healer. He's a blue healer. And he is such a hugging dog. I have never had a dog that hugs. But this guy actually comes up and gets his head into your neck. And sometimes will put his paws up to come get a hug. You are exactly where you need to be right now. You are exactly who you need to be right now. It's difficult to accept when we're not used to thinking that way about ourselves. So don't try to don't expect to jump right to a perfect self-care and perfect self-image and huge self-esteem, and right? It takes time and patience. And when we cultivate patience with ourselves, meet ourselves where we're at, we actually get there faster than if we try to push ourselves. It's that, yeah. The more we fight with ourselves, the longer it takes us to get there. The more we accept, the more we work with. I always say we have strengths, but I don't call them weaknesses. The opposite are not weaknesses. They're just opportunities to cultivate more strength, to cultivate more presence and patience and love. Catherine, we have to teach ourselves that perfection is impossible. But if we can be in the moment more. Do you know that my favorite definition of perfection I ever read was correct with a 2% margin of error? And that was in Webster's dictionary. And I went, that is perfection. That is reality. That is how we love ourselves. We recognize that in all of our flaws, in all of our mishaps, in all of our judgments about ourselves, we are indeed perfect. The possibility that you came to exist right here, right now, in this life, as you are, is a miracle in and of itself. You wouldn't be here if the universe didn't need you. Whoopee, you try to be mindful and present, but you can't stop your mind. I spiral and dissociate. I'm past your limit. Your reality is too much to handle, but you try. I understand. I've been there. And it's mindfulness practices that saved me. I tried all sorts of other things, and everybody has their own path. But there aren't words for the depths that I have sunk to in my life. So I understand the dissociation, Hi. You look very blue right now. How is that possible? What are you doing? There's some kind of optical illusion happening. The sun in the side of my eye, my dog actually looks blue. That's weird. Sorry. So meditation is a personal practice. Mindfulness is a personal practice. The more we sit with it, the more it will resonate within us. And when we first begin our practice, it can feel like moving a mountain just to make yourself sit down and meditate for 5 minutes. Don't expect your mind to be quiet that first time. Yeah, maybe, Catherine. Don't expect it to be perfect. Don't expect... we have such expectations for meditation, for mindfulness, that we're supposed to just sit down and be quiet. And the reality is what arises in our bodies is so natural. Our emotions rise and fall. Sensations rise and fall. Thoughts rise and fall. These are all temporal. These are all finite. These are all beginning and end, beginning and end, beginning and end. When we breathe, when we inhale, we take the breath in and then we release the breath. We allow our bodies to naturally inhale and let go. Inhale, take it in and let it go. Take it in and let it go. But with our emotions, we attach shit to them. And we take them in and we keep it in our pockets and we carry them around and we put them in a bag and we make them heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier and we tell ourselves stories about them and we identify with them and they become who we are, who we describe ourselves as. We don't do that with the breath. I don't inhale, hold my breath in and worry if it was too big of an inhale or too small of an inhale or if I got the right amount of oxygen or if it's actually like all of my, whatever they're called, capillaries or whatever in my lungs. Are they absorbing the oxygen properly? Is it getting to my heart in just the way it needs to? Is it circulating through my body? You don't do that with your breath. Same way you don't exhale and wonder if it was enough of an exhale. If you did it perfectly, right? It's a natural rise and fall. When we sit in meditation, we allow everything else to do the same thing as our breath. And things are going to come up. Sensations from sitting in this position, in my knee, right? Thanks, Nikki. Thoughts in my head. An itch on my side. A distraction of a car going by or my dog sitting in my lap. Life continues. When we meditate. But the intention of meditation is bringing our awareness back to center. No matter how many times you have to do that, it's a successful meditation if you've got an intention and your attention. That's it. My intention, let's say it's just really simple, right? My intention is just to cultivate quietness in my mind, stillness in my mind, right? So I bring my attention back to that practice over and over again. What tool am I using to cultivate that stillness? Am I using my Bhramara Mudra to cultivate that stillness? Then maybe when my mind gets distracted, I come back with my eyes closed and bring my attention to the mudra itself over and over and over again. Maybe that's my anchor. What's your anchor in the moment? Is it your breath? I'm sitting in mindfulness, I'm sitting in meditation, and a thought comes up and pulls me away. Do I fight with myself? No. Do I bitch at myself? No. I go, oh, because it's just like an inhale. Oh, I inhaled. Oh, I exhaled. And we do that over and over and over again. And when we do that over and over and over again, we start to retrain our minds and we start to practice. We start to cultivate that space. I think about it often like a pendulum. A distraction pulls us away and we bring it back to center. A distraction pulls us away and we bring it back to center. And the purpose of mindfulness is to expand our time in center. Life is going to pull us away, and then we come back to center. And if you do that often enough, it becomes habit for your mind and your body to return to center, to the present moment. And eventually, this is where you live. It's a practice, not perfect. It's a process. It's a path. Thank you for the follow, Allie. Whoopee, sweetheart, you do get panic attacks about getting enough oxygen. I understand. I know. Sweetheart. Okay, I'm going to get out of the sun because it's starting to blind me here. Thanks for the follow, Nicole. If you sit still with your eyes closed, you will eventually fall asleep. How do I notice the line between silence and sleep? So practice for shorter. Practice different types of meditation. There's not one type of meditation, right? There are many types of meditation, and you can practice them, whichever ones work for you. For me, I love silent seated meditation. And the way I keep from falling asleep is by sitting upright. This is why we don't lean back during meditation or otherwise slouch, right? We don't lean back in a chair. We sit upright in a position that's that if we were to fall asleep, we'd fall over, right? Some recommendations. I really like to sit on a pillow. I'll show you my pillow. It's just a little pillow like this. You can use a little pillow, you can use a bigger pillow, but if you put a pillow, instead of just sitting cross-legged on the floor, if sitting on the floor is accessible to you, just sitting cross-legged on the floor tilts the hips in a way that messes with the spine and actually causes you to sort of slouch over. That's what the body naturally wants to do. So, toss a pillow underneath your bottom. I like it right underneath. I like a little pillow right there because what it allows my hips to do is tilt forward because my legs are now this way instead of this way in front of me and tilting my hips, right? You can even take your butt cheeks and like pull them out a little bit and that'll help tilt your sits bones in a way that'll put the curve naturally back in your spine. Catherine, physically it's hard for you to sit on the floor. Yeah, that's okay. So sit in a chair. When you do this in a chair, move to the edge of your chair and sit in your practice. And again, don't go for 45 minutes. Do 5 minutes. 5 minutes. They've been doing these really awesome studies for many, many years, and they have found that just 10 minutes a day of mindfulness practices start to change your physical reality. Your physical state of being begins to change, begins to adjust. We see healing of chronic symptoms and stuff like that, of acute symptoms in a matter of days with just 10 minutes a day. You go 20 minutes max. Nice. And then there's no excuse for being like, oh, I couldn't get my meditation in today because it was like 3 hours of meditation, right? 5 minutes. Actually, even less. You're very welcome, Whoopi. Thank you for being here. So yeah, sitting upright. Do I set a timer? So I actually have a couple of different things that I do for timing. I don't like to set a timer because I don't like the buzz. I don't like to be woken up or, come out of it from that. I like to let my meditation kind of lead itself. But there are a couple of practices that I will use for timing. One of my favorites is to use a mala to, there you go, Catherine. You can listen to meditations, listen to guided meditations. You can listen to music, a particular song or something that you know is X minutes long. I use a mala and I count the beads of my mala as I breathe or as I say mantras, as inhale. You can simply use, here, let me grab my mala here really quick. I also make malas, guys. I make custom malas. I make them with real stones. I clear them energetically and I charge them with intentions. If you're interested in a mala, let me know. I'm going to be putting them in my shop over at Move With Change. I might even create a shop here, but it's hard to do the shop because they're custom. So it's kind of like whatever stones you want, and that's hard to put in the shop. But anyway, let me show you the mudra here. Oof. Not mudra. Mala. It's called a mala. So, this can be about 20 minutes, or depending on how fast you move, right? So, you want to keep your pointer finger off your mala. Again, this is the element of air, and the element of air can create separation and can create chaos. So we are working to create mindfulness, right? And to create stillness and peace. So we remove the air from the chaos from our mala. So with each inhale, the simplest practice is to just inhale, pull a bead back. Exhale, pull a bead back. Inhale. Exhale. Like rosary beads, yes. So what's interesting is that beaded necklaces like this have been around for thousands of years before they were used as, or before our modern rosary or malas, and they were used for timing practices, for counting. They were used for keeping track of things. They were used for all manner of things, right? So this is not a specifically religious tool. I personally do practice the 8 limbs of yoga, follow the 8 limbs, the eightfold path. So for me, I associate it with that practice. You are welcome to associate it with any practice. When I make these malas, again, I clear them energetically, and then I can charge them with an intention that you would like. I can make them with, this is carnelian. I make them with different kinds of beads and whatnot, depending on the intention you want. So anyway, I use this as a timer. You can get about 20 minutes. And if you can also find shorter ones. Any beaded necklace, this is 108 beads. So that takes that amount of time. So if you have a bracelet and you just use that bracelet and go around a couple of times your bracelet, if you go around once around your mala, you're going to create a nice timing and a tool, a anchor to bring your attention back to, right? So mindfulness practices, we want to have our intention and our attention, right? Set your intention and have an anchor to anchor your attention back to your practice over and over and over again. So send me a message if you'd like a mala, and we can chat about that. So, sometimes, Gigi, sometimes my body and mind needed to relax, and that's what the meditation was meant to give me. Yes. So, hey, Thor. So other things that, if you'd like to stay awake during your meditations, right? Those are some good practices. Note that there are also meditations that you can do, walking meditations, mantra meditations. I love choosing a mantra and just repeating the mantra to myself. You can turn anything into a mindfulness meditation. You thought the only intention is stillness. What are the others? Your intention can be anything you want it to. It can be to connect to my breath. It can be to cultivate space within my heart. It can be to root my energy body into the earth. It could be to connect with my divine source. It could be to cultivate stillness. It could be to count my thoughts. A really amazing mindfulness tool, guys, okay? It's really, really, really fun, okay? It's so simple. I love it. Is to close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths. You know how we do. We always like to start with 3 deep breaths. So you first pull your breath into your lungs and all the way into your belly. Exhale it out, okay? Second time, inhale, lifting your heart and elongating the spine, and exhale it out. Inhale, expanding your rib cage in all directions. This, and then exhaling it out. This helps to anchor you into the practice, right? And then I invite you to simply set the intention of watching your thoughts and ask yourself, what am I going to think next? What am I going to think next? And watch as the mind goes, I don't know. What are we going to think next? So if your mind is being chaotic, hey, Simo, thank you. If the mind is being chaotic, you don't have to sit down for a 45-minute practice. If the mind is being chaotic, take 3 deep breaths and then say, what am I going to think next? And ask yourself again, what am I going to think next? And maybe the mind might come up with some things, but I guarantee you, you will experience a quieting of the mind to a degree, to whatever degree is available to you in the moment. Honor where you're at. Love yourself where you're at, even if it's a fucking mess, right? Life is a fucking mess sometimes. And we don't need to shame or blame ourselves. Just show up where we're at. With gratitude. Look for the things that we can be grateful for. Remember, we don't do direct correction. I liked that, Princess. Thank you so much for bringing that question to us today, because it's really important to talk about. I have a negative thought. I look like shit today, right? We don't correct that negative thought with an exact opposite, because sometimes the exact opposite is not the truth. In our authenticity in that moment, we felt that. And so we don't want to deny our authenticity. We don't want to deny our truth, but we simply redirect the energy into something that we would like to cultivate. So if I'd like to cultivate better self-image, then when I have the negative thought, that's a negative self-image thought, then I turn my attention to things that will build my self-image. If that means going to the bathroom and braiding my hair, if that means painting my nails or cleaning them, if that means brushing my teeth or changing my clothes, if that means the simple, it can be move energy instead. You might need to dance in that case instead of being still. Yes. So moving meditations as well, right? Moving meditations are really good ones too. Walking, doing the dishes becomes a meditation for me. Because when you're doing the dishes, you're stuck here in this practice. You got to do that thing, right, until you get through the dishes. But you can use it as a tool. You can use the dishes as an anchor for the present moment. You bring all of your senses in. Whoopee, I'm glad you're here too. Bring all of your senses in. Notice the feeling of the soap and water on your hands. Notice the weight of the dishes. Listen to the sound of them clinking together as you're doing them. Notice the sound of the water as it's running. Notice the smell of the soap that you're using, right? Bring your attention in with that anchor. Use the anchor to bring your attention into the present moment. And your experience of doing dishes will change. Hey, Beth, how are you? Mindfulness, creating a battle, simple practices, not falling asleep, so many different types of meditation, and so many different intentions that you can have for your meditation. Play. Explore. There are enough people out there and there are enough places out there that are taking themselves very, very seriously. And I took my own spiritual journey very, very seriously for a very, very long time. Thank you for the live. Thank you for the follow, friend. But in all my seriousness, I was creating a degree of tension in taking myself so seriously and looking for perfection so hard and fighting so hard for perfection and manifestation and figuring all the things out. And there was a lot of negative self-talk in there. But when I began to integrate play and curiosity into all of my practices, things totally changed. I was able to meet myself where I was at instead of judging myself for where I was at. I was able to release the stories about who I think I am or other people think I am and meet myself as a new person every day. Some days I have limited mobility. Some days it's really bad. Some days I'm as spry as a spring chicken. I'm not the same every single day, and neither are you. But we create static images and static stories about ourselves and about others. And we become stuck and rigid. And when we are inflexible and storms come through our lives, as naturally they do, as the seasons change and we are not prepared for these things and we are inflexible, then we get blown down. Then it creates a chaos in our lives. Is Tai Chi a moving meditation? Yeah, I'd say so. But it's a practice of energy movement. Tai Chi is the intentional movement of energy, of the energy field. It's a beautiful practice. I have never myself learned Tai Chi, only because as an energy worker, since I've been working with energy as a kid, I have always been moving my energy like that. I move it through dance, I move it through intention. When I do energy work, you'll notice that I move a lot. When I'm in somebody's energy field, clearing it out, there is a lot of movement happening so that we can keep those channels open and clear. You are so welcome, Whoopi. Bend or break, Simo, exactly. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So, it's almost 11. I am going to go make my kid breakfast, me and my kid. I'm going to do breakfast things. I think we're going to do some holiday things. Or maybe go on a walk. It's a beautiful day. So, for those of you who are new here, my name is Reverend Deborah. I am a movement facilitator in breath, body, and being. My website is over at movewithchange.com. You can find all of my private services over there. I work one-on-one with coaching, energy work. I do guided meditations that you can purchase as well. And then we also are cultivating a safe space for community over there. So if you like what you see here and would like to continue classes into the new year, you'll have to move over to Move with Change. I am going to be offering still some stuff here on TikTok. There will be public classes still, but most of the classes are going to be moving over into our community over at Move with Change. So you can join directly at movewithchange.com. You go to the pricing plans and you find the Kaya Sangha, C-A-Y-A Sangha. C-A-Y-A stands for Come As You Are, because again, we honor the authenticity in you. We want to cultivate that safe space so that you can show up just as you are in the moment, so that you can have a safe space to show up even when things get messy. Because we all know that if we're really committed to doing this work, if we're really doing this work, it's going to get messy. And that is part of the healing. That is part of the process. If you subscribe here on TikTok, guys, you get a free month over in Move with Change. You also get access to the subscriber only live on Friday nights where I talk about astrology. I don't do a lot of astrology in Move with Change, so that's the only place that you're really going to get that right now. And let's see, what else? Gigi. Gigi, let me make you a moderator. Hold on a friend. Thank you for the follow, Tom. So I do appreciate you guys, everybody who subscribes here. You guys, I'll have to do it another time, maybe. You guys help support these free classes. This is my business. This is my work. I do teach classes. Those private classes will be, into the new year. Bhakti Bites, Tiny Yoga are both going to go internal and become classes within Lamaskar, within Move with Change, only available for members of Move with Change. There will be still a class that I will be doing here, but also over in Move with Change, you receive group coaching, weekly group coaching sessions. And once you're a member at Move with Change, you get heavy discounts on anything else that we do, or any of the other services. So if you're a member over at Move with Change and you need some private coaching on top of the membership, you get a heavy discount on that too. Yeah, that's birth charts lately on Fridays. I need to talk to you guys too. Of course, Ken, thank you. You're very welcome. I need to talk to you guys who are already members over in Move with Change and to see when you guys would like to do the group coaching. I want to get it started back up again since the recent change or recent moves, stuff, rearranging. So I will reach out to some of you guys and let me know when works for you. But those group coaching sessions are 2 hours every week, and you guys get unfettered access to this toolbox that I've been working on for the last 20 plus years. Yeah. So thank you guys. Again, thank you to my subscribers. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you guys for the follow, for the likes, for hanging out, for being you, for showing up just as you are. Again, if the universe didn't need you, you wouldn't be here. You're a fucking miracle, and it's amazing. And I'm really proud of you for showing up today for self-care. I'm really proud of you for taking the time to take care of yourself, to offer yourself a little bit of love. Okay? Keep it up. So, so thank you, Gigi. Here, let me pin that really quick before we go. The subscription on TikTok is a good way to try the website for free because you get a month membership for free over at Move with Change. And we have an app. It's a nice, simple app. We do also have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to cultivate that YouTube channel right now. There were some recent business changes, so I've got to kind of cultivate these two spaces. We are at Move with Change on YouTube as well. There will be replays of all these classes on YouTube. Okay. So do not forget your Bhramara Mudra. We are going to be this week. Thank you, Nikki. Hugs to you. This week we are working with the Bhramara Mudra. The Bhramara Mudra is done by tucking your pointer finger, your air finger, down into your thumb. And then connecting your thumb and your middle finger with no more than the weight of a nickel. No more pressure than the weight of a nickel when you connect your thumb to your middle finger. Keeping that pointer finger tucked in to your hand here. This mudra, these other two fingers can be straightened out. I like to straighten them out. I just like the feel of the mudra like that. You can relax them and they can just hang gently. You can bring them together if it's comfortable for you. This doesn't really matter. This is the part of the mudra that is redirecting the energy. This cultivates harmony within our energy body, and this specifically treats allergies, whether they be sinus, whether they be in your eyes, on topical, on your skin. It works with the respiratory system, so if you're having a cough, if you've got congestion this time of year, right? These are things that we're experiencing, especially spending more time inside. So this just generally boosts your immune system and specifically works on histamine reactions. So remember that, Bhramara Mudra. If you need to clear your sinuses, look, I came in this morning with my sinuses all messed up. I was blowing my nose all before class, and now I just was like, oh shit, it's clear. You can use this acute. So if you are having a sinus issue, what did I say earlier? I was just gonna have this mudra, wear my mudra all day long and see what it does. And here I've already got clear sinuses. I don't even need to do it. So it's recommended to hold it for at least 5 minutes to really experience the benefits of this mudra. Again, hey, tapping point. This is called the Bhramara Mudra. Cultivates harmony, works on histamine reactions, clears congestions, boosts your immune system, and generally creates a really nice buzz in the body and in the mind. Thank you so much. The way we practiced it today, guys, is with a simple breath, inhaling, lips sealed, inhaling through the nose, saying to yourself, so, exhaling with a hum. And just saying that to yourself in your mind, inhale so, exhale hum, inhale so, exhale hum. You can build on the practice by exhaling an audible hum. So you inhale the so, exhale hum. Please spell it. Bhramara. Bhramara. There's a Bhra, Mara, Mara, Mudra. and Bhramara means bee. Specifically, it's interesting because this one specifically means the male bee, and then the Bhramari pranayama, which we'll learn on Thursday, stay tuned, is Bhramari, which is the female bee. I think it's really interesting. But this redirects the air channel in the body. This is the air finger, so this redirects the air channel, calming the air element in the body, cultivating space for that harmony, and again, aligning ourselves with that energy of bees doing their bee thing. Thank you guys so much again. So again, we go, yes, if you want replays, go to the YouTube channel. We are at Move with Change on YouTube. If you'd like to work directly with me or join us over at Move with Change, you can go directly to movewithchange.com. Or if you want a month free over there and the perk of the subscriber only live on Friday nights, subscribe here on TikTok. You can subscribe now during the live, or after the live, you can go to my profile and right at the top, it's got a little live subscription link, and you press that one and you sign up. Again, signing up as a subscriber really helps to support these live classes, these free classes that I get to do out here. Joining the Sangha, joining us over at Move with Change also helps to not only support these free classes, but it's my business. It's the exchange, right? I get to keep teaching these things. I get to keep sharing these tools. I get to keep coaching. I get to keep meeting you wonderful fucking people where you're fucking at. And it's so beautiful. So thank you guys so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the love and support. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. I will see you Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Joshua, you've already used the mudra 3 times? Fuck yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. I really like it. Like, I feel like I can kind of just stick it and hold it all day. I can still use my other fingers, right? So I'm keeping this one tucked in. I'm gonna cultivate some harmony today. So again, I will see you guys Thursday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time. We will come back to our Bhramara Mudra, and we will add Bhramari Pranayama to our practice on Thursday. So I would look forward to seeing you guys there. Again, replays are on YouTube. And if you have any questions about any of this at all, or constructive criticism, feel free to send me a message. I'd love to chat with you. All right. Mwah! Enjoy your Tuesday.